Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with British heavyweight and YouTube sensation Johnny
Nice.
Fisher. You can find his content on YouTube
And
at
son
Johnny
of Big
Fisher as
John.
well. And son of Big John as well too. Is that how you introduce yourself on TikTok?
I'm just Big John's son. That is me. And yes, I've got my YouTube channel, Run Football TV. So we're just starting out and giving people an insight, but less about me. And good to see you again, Eamon. Thank you for talking to me.
Pleasure's all mine. It's actually going to be more about you. We've got news to talk about, and I saw this on social media as well as on your YouTube channel. You made a big decision to part with Mark Tibbs, and you've joined Tony Sims. First of all, one thing to say about the messages that you put out is gratitude kind of comes through in terms of your work that you did with Mark. But what led to the decision to move to Tony?
Yeah, I've had some brilliant memories with Mark, and I look back at the great wins we've had, the Southern Area title, winning in Vegas, the first fight with Dave Allen as well, the Babich win. Had some brilliant memories, and Mark, as I've said on the other things I've done, always will be and have a great place in my heart and will be a friend, hopefully, for the rest of my life. But yeah, the decision was mine, and Mark's agreed. And I just think if I want to carry on in this game, I need somewhere a fresh start or rejuvenation. I take full blame and responsibility for the loss of the fight. I'm the man who goes in there. I'm the one who goes about the business, and I got it wrong on a night. Probably wasn't vocal enough in the build-up as well as to what I think was right, but that's the game, mate. And we win and lose as a team, but ultimately it falls on my shoulders, and I'm the one who takes full responsibility for the outcome of the fight because I'm the one who goes in there and does the job, and I didn't do it. So I had a little look around after I spoke to Mark. I never obviously didn't go to any coaches before. I had a sit down with Mark because I literally for 4 or 5 weeks I was just making sure that I'd made my mind up and thought I'd made the right decision in trying to rejuvenate myself, and I think I have. And I went up to Jamie Moore and Dave for a little bit. That was brilliant. Trained with them guys, and I always had a fondness for Tony, and we've always had a good relationship where we've seen each other briefly before. Either I'm fighting on the same card as his fighters, and he's from the same neck of the woods. And I went in there, and it was brilliant with Jamie Moore. He was a brilliant man. Dave was good as gold, and Connor Walker up there was great. Nigel was a great man as well. But it just felt natural being with Tony, and the way he was talking and the things that he was talking about, wanting me to getting me to do as a fighter resonated with me, and I feel like it will play to my strengths.
Specifically with when you went up to Jamie and Dave, were you going to be training with Dave, or was it part of Jamie Moore's setup?
I just went there for a week to train with Jamie and Dave as well, train alongside Dave. Sometimes I've done bits and bobs with Dave as well, on the patio that he's got with Joe Hayden, Connor Walker, all mixing in, done runs. But I was only there for 2, 3 nights, and we crammed a lot in. And I've done a bit of work with Jamie as well on the day I was going home. Done some more stuff with Jamie on the first day as well. Nigel, it's just a mix and match, but I think it was just good to touch base and see how Jamie operates up there. And he's got a great stable. And listen, boxing's a funny old game. The person that you've been beat by, you end up all right with, and I was all right with him with Dave before, so I'm not too proud to admit I got beat and go up there and gain some experience. And it was valuable experience and opened my eyes to different ways of training, and it was really, really good. I mean, listen, if I went up to train with Jamie and Nigel, I would have been in a great position as well. But it's just in my brain. When I was training with Tony, everything just sort of made sense and clicked in as it should. It's unexplainable, really. You can't say that Jamie and Nigel were any less or any better than what Tony was. For me, it was a natural fit, and it's working well with the first few weeks.
I hear you mention, whether it be on the content on your YouTube channel or on other interviews that you've done, that tactically you feel that you got the second fight wrong. Do you feel you get something different from a fight plan perspective with Tony? I mean, you'll only really truly know that when you get into a fight,
Yeah.
but do you feel that you're going to get that with Tony?
Well, going back to the first and second fights with Dave, the first fight we was up close and personal. It was a close fight, but I fought the natural way I always fight, which is aggressive. and I actually ended up coming off better that fight than I did the second fight. Probably as a collective group, our whole team, we went too far the other way, and me included. Like we probably went and tried to become too technical, and we tried something different. And logically, you can see how you would think that after the first fight being so close, box the move, but it didn't work. And maybe that's because of my shortcomings, because I wasn't good enough on the night to implement that. But there is one thing I'm good at, and that's going in there and turning it into a tear up slash Weatherspoon style barnstormer. And I can do that. When I'm at my physical peak, I'm quite hard to deal with like that. Was I at my physical peak in the first fight? Probably not, coming back from a torn bicep, and not having that period of, we call it muscle hypertrophy phase, the muscle building phase. I was quite lean, I was very, very fit, extremely fit for that fight. Because Sonny, we've done a lot of background stuff with the assault bike and Greenwich Hills and hitting crucial numbers that need to be hit. But obviously, the turnaround from having a torn bicep in September to then fighting in December is not a very, very long time to get over that injury. And I've done well to get back to it. So, long story short, I'm going off on a tangent. I think if I'm at my physical peak as an athlete, forget being a boxer, in terms of my power, my ability to be aggressive, my rotational strength, my explosiveness, I think Tony, in the way he's talking, we will be able to get the best version of the Romford Ball style that we can see. And I think that's what I've got to do. Boxing's a short career. If I try and do things that are too far out of my remit, like you, Raymond, you interview in a certain way, right? You've got a certain style that you like, you've got certain equipment that you like to use, and you get the best interview that way. It's the same with me. I've got to look at what I'm best at, what my attributes are. It doesn't mean you don't work on the other areas, but if you're not working on the areas that you're good at, then you can't compete at a decent level. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to work at now with Tony. Does that make sense?
No, I appreciate the parallels, of course, to my end of the sport, but I also see your parallels also mentioning Conor Benn to Tony and how he fights. Do you draw those comparisons to yourself and Conor in terms of how you want to operate, and as well maybe some of the doubts that people threw Conor Benn's way early in his career?
Well, I look at the rotational work that Tony does, not only with Connor, but I see it with the other fighters in there: Craig Richards, Jimmy Sains, George Liddard. And it makes sense to me to rotate and use your whole body. If you look at my knockouts, I do a lot of it with my torso and arms, and that's going to tire you out quicker than if you're using your whole body. And you see that with Connor, especially the rotational work that he's got is unbelievable. And if we can unlock another 5, 10, 15% of my rotational power as a heavyweight, then that's going to have a knock-on effects to how I deliver a punch. There is a science behind it, and it's balancing, I think, in my head, the art side of boxing and feeling the moment and flowing, and mixing it with the science, which is how you stand, where your feet are placed, the tactical side of when to roll and when to slip and where to hold your hands, and also the scientific part of conditioning the body and preparing the body for the idea of a 10 or 12 round fight and making sure it's an explosive and fit version of itself as it can be. So it's marrying all them things up as well as you can to get the best result at the end.
How about in terms of the experience? Do you look at this in terms of as a, would you call it that cliche term of a rebuild phase where you get a few fights under your belt and go again, or are you looking to jump back in?
I will probably rebuild the rest of this year, but I was thinking about this on the drive down to Bath. Like, at the end of the day, why am I in boxing? It's to give myself a better life. It's to give my fans exciting nights, and it's to hopefully give my family a better life if I can. And if the right fight comes up, I feel confident that I can go in a mix. I'm open for business for anyone. Honestly, I've been beat, right? I've been knocked out. Just get back on the horse and get involved and give people exciting nights. And I think every fight I've had so far, you can't argue that they haven't been exciting or entertaining to watch. So um, just get me back involved. There is the idea of having a comeback, but part of me just thinks FUCK it and just get back in.
I want to be direct with this question. Obviously, on the end of a knockout in the last fight, a lot of people kind of say, especially in the heavyweight game, that can kind of change a fighter? Have you felt any mentality differently? Again, you have to be in the ring to truly know that, but in terms of just thinking about fighting, has it changed your mentality in any way?
Not my mentality, because I've always been the same, and I'm hope I'm the sort of person that won't get changed or altered by certain things and what happened to you in life. I think you don't get too high when things go well, you don't get too low when things go bad, but tactically you can make changes, and you can observe things and know where you've gone wrong. If you don't learn from a loss, then you you really have lost it, more than you can know. Not just a fight, but your whole career can go wrong. So you've got to make sure you learn. But in terms of losing, it's also made me just. I've got more of an attitude of, if I don't want to do something, I won't do it. If I don't want to, I'm not here to please anyone anymore, and I've got to do what's right for me, because this is a dangerous game, boxing, and we've only got so much health in this game. Heavyweights get hit very, very hard. Our brains are getting rattled about in our skull, and we've only got so much longevity in it. There are other things I can do with my life, Eamon, that are not as dangerous as this. So part of me is less time and for what's the polite word for ball, shit, but less time for that, and more time for putting things into action and putting things right, because I did things wrong, and it's about putting them right now.
I saw two names specifically mentioned that you're targeting, Dakers and Clark. How close do you feel those fights are for you?
I wouldn't say targeting is a correct word, because I
Okay.
don't target anyone in this game. But I'm open for business. Baker's had a great win. Fraser Clark, who's rebuilding himself currently. I'm open for business for either of them guys and anyone in the heavyweight division. It's just got to make sense for every party. But I am completely open to fight anyone on the planet who people want to see. That's
And
the bottom line.
there is a little whisper going around that you might be on this card up in Sheffield on the Dave Allen undercard. Is that correct?
Yep, I could be on that. I think they're working on it now, the team. Yeah, I could be on that, and that's no. I look at it like this, because obviously people be like, "Oh, you're fighting on Dave's undercard now," but for me, it's a fact of when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights in, and I'm 1-0, and then they've got some brilliant fighters who fight for British titles and European titles who have, let's face it, more tactically and technically advanced than me. I've not got no shame in doing that. I'm just happy and grateful to be on a card, to be on a matchroom card, and to be to be able to progress my career. So I'm looking forward to being up there in Sheffield. I've fought there before, and I'll be excited to go there again.
What do you think of Alan's fight with Makhmudov?
Makhmudov, obviously a big old lump. He doesn't like it. The sort that you've seen what Caballero done to it. I know Caballero's a world level fighter, but the busyness of someone can overawe him. I think Dave can beat him. I really do. I know Guido, my managerial stablemate, has beaten him, and I think he's there to be beat.
How much does the third fight with Dave play on your mind?
I know that third fight is in the background, and contractually we've got it. So I spoke to Dave when I was up there. We've got that fight that's ready to go whenever it suits both parties. So that is something that I think people will want to see.
Mhm. Just drawing away from uh, yourself and into some of the hot topics boxing, I want to ask you about Itama versus White, which is coming up not
Yeah,
this weekend, but the one after. What do you think about that fight?
it's a good fight. I think Dillian looks like he's trained hard from the clips that I've seen out there. He's obviously coming to the back end of his career, it feels, and whereas Ituma's someone who's coming through, and it could be a good time to fight Dillian Whyte, and it will put Ituma on the map even more. We know in the boxing community how much of a great fighter he is. He's obviously talented and very young, and got so much potential. So Dillian Whyte, be under no illusion, will give him his toughest test, because he's a proud, strong man, and it will be an interesting watch.
You sparred Dillian before.
Never sparred Dillian. I was meant to spar him, I think, when he was down in Loughborough with Mark. I was preparing for Joe Parker, yeah, and I was not available because I was doing my exams at uni. But I've not been out. I've not sparred him. I think he got in contact with Mark before he was going to fight Joshua as well. when that show got called off, and it didn't materialise either. But never sparred him. I sparred Ituma for a couple of rounds. You can feel how good the footwork is of the man, the speed. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup to see them styles. I think the footwork of Ituma will be too much, and the freshness and the youth. But Dillian's a proud, strong warrior, so we'll see on the night.
A lot of people kind of, when fighters are coming up the ladder, especially at heavyweight, feel like a fighter needs to have it, quote unquote, put on them. Do you expect Dillian to do that sort of thing to Itauma?
Um, I don't know. I think stylistically it could be perfect for Ituma. Dillian's not got the fastest feet in the world, and Ituma is very fleet of foot, a younger man. But if there is a man to do it, out of all the ones that Ituma's fought, Dillian Whyte's the man to do it. We've seen him give us some brilliant nights, beating the likes of Oscar Rivas and giving Joshua a great fight early on in their careers, and beating Povetkin. Obviously, he's the man so far. Out of all the men to come, he's the man to do it. I would say, to give him a test.
Speaking of brilliant nights, there was one for the undisputed heavyweight title between Usyk and Dybar, which saw Oleksandr Usyk get his hand raised and capture the undisputed heavyweight titles for the second time. A lot of kind of fallout from that fight with Daniel and the pre-fight party. First of all, what was your take on seeing that?
I haven't seen a video of a party. I've seen a video of Daniel going into a room, and there's a lot of people there, and they're getting excited. But I haven't seen a party with a disco ball and cocktail sausages and party rings. But I have seen people getting a bit overjubilant. I heard stories of people being in the backstage area before the fight that probably shouldn't have been there. But I'm not privy to what was going on in there. Obviously, it's not good if all the rumours are true. That's obviously not a good thing. But to me, they're all just rumours because I wasn't there. And to be honest, fighting someone like Usyk, Dubois could have gone to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it would have been difficult. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't have been better if you went to bed at 7 p.m. or 4 a.m. It wouldn't make much difference. It's going to be a difficult night no matter what. And Dybar gave it a good go, like a lot of the Brits have given it a good go, and he fell short. And there's no shame in that, because Usyk is a special talent that could be put up there with the generational greats. Really, he seems to be getting better, not slowing down. I mean, he's 36, 37 or 38 even, isn't he? Or, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was impressive because Dybar is a formidable puncher, and he sort of played Dybar with his own game and brought the heat back to him. So fair play to Usyk. We need someone to step up to the mark from Britain and try and give him a good test. Maybe it's Fury again.
If it's Fury or any other heavyweight worldwide, can anyone take that extra step and beat him?
I think Jaya Pataya could beat him.
Okay.
At cruiserweight, if he comes up before they meet at Bridgerweight. I think Joe Parker, the speed of the man for a big man, he's 18, 19 stone now, but he's always been known for his fast hands. Maybe that style of I say a medium heavyweight. I just said he's 19 stone, but not the tallest guy in the world, 6'3", 6'4". Maybe that style could be awkward for Parker, for Usyk, and it is styles that make these fights. I mean, Joshua's gone through certain people that like Klitschko and Povetkin and destroyed them, but Tyson Fury's done the same with others like Wilder and Klitschko as well. He's put on a great performance with, but stylistically, Usyk seems to be a boogeyman for a lot of these bigger heavyweights in the division, being so waspy in the way he moves and being able to buzz around you. It's so tactically and mentally draining to deal with someone like that. So maybe Parker's the style to deal with that because he's quite fleet of foot and fast-handed himself.
And the other one, I don't know if it'd be a great night or not. It's sort of been talked about though, and that's Anthony Joshua in the ring with Jake Paul. Is that something you welcome?
Do I welcome it? I don't welcome any fight. I'm not a welcomer of any contest. So I'm not something that I'm not captivated by it. No, I'm not. Am I interested in it? No. Will I probably scroll on Instagram and watch a clip of Joshua smashing Jake Paul? Probably yes. But listen, if it's contracted and the powers that be allow it to happen, which probably seems ludicrous, but if it's makes money for everyone and everyone walks away healthy, I'm no one to pass judgment on it. Let people do what they want to do. All I hope is that everyone's healthy, because that's not guaranteed in this game. We've seen that with a lot of boxers in the last couple of years, especially. And yeah, I just hope everyone would leave that altercation in a healthy state.
See, I agree with you, but I was on a conversation with some of the American media. I won't name names, and we walked into or bumped into a prominent fighter as well too. We were discussing the fight, and they kind of felt that Jake Paul was in with a real good shot in that fight because they felt that Anthony Joshua had, from their point of view, a weak chin, which I was quite shocked by, and I sort of defended the Brit, being that he's from Britain as well too, and from a journalist's perspective, I didn't feel like that was too fair of a claim for Anthony Joshua, but that's some of the feeling that maybe Jake
It
Paul and
was,
other fighters feel about AJ right now.
well, a weak chin. Let's look at Anthony Joshua, a weak chin. Got knocked down against Vladimir Klitschko, got up and knocked the man out, a super champion of 10 years. Got knocked down by Daniel Dubois in the first round or the second round, and battles through and nearly stops him himself. I mean, ludicrous claims. He also got rocked heavily by Dillian Whyte, and then goes and finishes him off. I mean, talking about the chilliness of fighters is it's not even worth wasting your breath, because the people that often call them chinny are the ones that could never lace up a pair of gloves themselves. So calling a heavyweight chinny like Anthony Joshua, who's fought some of the best in the world and beat them, in the context of Jake Paul as well, is a little bit farcical. But if that driving clicks and there's people in their Transformer pajamas at home who want to see that, then they can go and watch it.
Finally, bringing this back to yourself, and in the context of Anthony Joshua was trained by Tony Sims, who might be the only other heavyweight that Tony worked with. I think I imagine that gives you a
Dempsey
lot of
McKean as
confidence.
well
Dempsey
for a
McKean
little
as
while.
well too, but there's only
And,
yeah.
There's only a few, but yeah, listen, I remember watching Joshua coming through in them early days when he was fighting every month or every few weeks, and I saw him down at the Gator gym with Tony in the Hainault area, and he had obviously a great run on it in his early days and continued on some great things. So it's not a bad name to be, or one of the best names in the world to have your trainer who's done some work with. But I'm Johnny Fisher. I'm me. I'm in my stage of my career. I've come off a bad defeat, and I just feel like the fit there and the vibe that I got, and the ideas of what Tony's putting forward and what I'm learning in the gym, the rotational stuff, the foot placement, and thinking about what I want to do and being an aggressive fighter and using my strengths, that's more important to me. And I've got to focus on myself. And it is a nice thought to think he's trained with someone like Joshua, but I've got my own challenges and things to face with myself.
Johnny, truly looking forward to seeing your progression in the ring with your new training setup. Thank you so much for speaking to
Thanks,
Seconds Out,
Amos.
and I'll be watching you very soon.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.